Everything I'm saying in this motherfucker, all props.
This shit is not real.
Just in case the police listen, I mean.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
It's only entertainment.
Welcome back to another episode of the DRP podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Pat. To the left of me, we got Lisa.
Hello.
And we got Boone.
Hey, what's going on?
We got a special guest with us today, Pastor B. How you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Let's start this off. You can give people a little background about yourself.
All right. I'm Pastor B. All social media handles is Pastor B. Drews. My government name is Brandon Andrews. What you want to know? Let's go background. I don't know how far back we want to go. No, I'm married. Been married to my wife for 12 years this year. Been with her for 13 years. We got 4 children, 3 boys, 1 girl. Brandon, Levi, Avery, and Matthew. I have.
Well, you got all boys? You said
3 boys, 1 girl. Yeah, 3 boys, 1 girl. And obviously, pastor, Living Rock Church in Harper Woods. Shout out LRC. And I got a couple of my guys here today, J. Ryan, Kente, and Ant-Man.
What's the address
with
to
me.
your church, brother?
19445 Eastwood Drive, Harper Woods, Michigan. We right behind Harper Woods High School and where Eastland used to be. I've been in church since 2011. Opened up my church in 2022. We're about the kingdom, man. We're about the souls. We all work, no fluff. We got a little motto that we say at our church: "Get saved, be holy, win souls." That's the goal. That's the creed that we live by. We don't play a whole lot of games. We shout good, we praise good. Jay Ryan back here, we got like a yeah growl that go on. He started that. It's native to him. I can't do it as good, so I'm not gonna pretend like I can. I just have a good time doing it. My background that got me on here is with this guy right here. Me and Rich used to work together in the basement at Henry Ford Hospital.
Same lies. Nah, for real. We was like the real muscle behind the hospital, you know?
What?
All the supplies came from us.
Yeah, so did. If you was doing surgery and you didn't have all you need, it was our fault. So we was down there making it happen, man. Back when we thought $13 an hour was some real money.
Man.
But I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all have some good singers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Our praise and worship leader actually is my wife's uncle. He does it for real. He's dropped 2.
Can he sing or can he sing?
Nah, he can blow. He's
sang,
not.
okay.
Ain't nothing shy about him. He do vocal lessons. He do shows downtown. Hey, I'll put you in contact with him, man. His name is Womani. Nah, he can go. My wife can blow. She just shy, but she can sing with the best of them. And my mom, she can sing. She just didn't have the musical background, so she's with Will working, and so it's a nice little thing down there. I fill in where I can. I lose my voice every now and again because we're young and new.
Is that a luxury of a pastor, though?
What's that?
To be able to lose your voice and still people like, go ahead.
Listen, if you know what you're doing, it is. You can't be up there talking about, the Lord. You got to know, when to take that drink of water, when to get a little quiet, and then when to come back and put your vibrato on, man.
I used to be jealous of the pastor when they had the water.
Hey,
look, the glass is all.
It is a nice glass, yeah.
It's sweating.
It's a cloth napkin on top of it. Like, I've never been jealous of somebody more in my life than a pastor drinking water.
Hey, listen, it's that new age church. Everybody get a little short bottle of water now.
Understandable.
And so the pastor done graduated from water to Gatorade and Kool-Aid now. So when they start giving the congregation water, then our stuff start looking blue. I have a bottle of Gatorade up there with me every week.
It's that new generation, man.
Yes, sir.
So I got a real question.
All right.
How many times y'all pass that basket around?
Once, and we don't even really pass it around.
Okay.
We hold it in the front, and you come give yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that because I didn't been to churches that have passed
Oh
around like
yeah,
this.
I come from that.
You know what? Just to think about it, you know how many people that came to Sunday school and had to leave real quick? So you gotta do it after Sunday school. You gotta do it after praise and worship.
Yeah.
You gotta catch the people.
You gotta catch them. You gotta do it. You gotta do it after they high, man. That was the method to the madness. So ours, we don't take our offering until the end of service. So singing is done, announcements is done, preaching is done. So it's like a big risk, right? Because if somebody like get tired of all of that, they up out of there.
You're right.
Actually, I had I call him my big brother. He's a pastor. He was like, man, you need to do 2 offerings. You need to do one early in the service. That's just for your offerings, and one for your tithes later. And I thought about it, prayed about it. Maybe one day. It's just not where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? I heard a preacher one time. He said, you usually don't pay for your food until after you eat.
Right.
So you serve the people, then you get, and it's not about getting any money for, to be honest. I mean, it's as unto the Lord. But at the same time, things that people they like to ignore. The church is a business.
Right.
I've said it multiple times to my congregation. Y'all like how good the music sound? Yeah. Bro want his check at the end of service.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care how hard you clap your hands. DTE ain't giving us a pass because we a church. So you know what I'm saying. You everybody got to do their part. It's not anything to it. And then thank God for technology. Right, there was no excuses. You feel me?
And that was one of my little questions too, because I often see like churches are criticized for just being at the same step like technology as everybody else. Like, why wouldn't I have Cash App?
Right.
Why wouldn't I?
Right.
It's weird. And it's funny because some churches bash it too. Like, yeah, man. Like the church, and I love the church. I am the church, right? Sometimes though, that old mindset. Sometimes the church won't use it until they can find the benefit in it. And when you have a lot of your older generation running the church, well, the one thing about Cash App is on your phone. And a lot of the older generation, they don't believe in using their phone for nothing but phone calls. Some of them still don't even text. So if I gotta chase money down on the phone, then you got hackers. Then they're gripped by the fear that comes with technology, right? So it's a thing. It's a real thing. Some churches really just they don't. It's not what they want to do. Bring me that cash.
Yeah, it's important to adapt too. Like you shouldn't be stagnant anyway. Like
can't.
Because it's hard to even find an ATM with the bills you need.
Come on. Hey, look, you seen it. It was a nice wave of churches in the late 90s and early 2000s. Boy, they started putting ATMs in the church. Boy, if you don't go in that vestibule and throw your card in that machine and quit playing.
Yeah, that's.
Come on, bro. Look.
Hey, look, people kind of high on that thing.
Well, you gotta pay for the service.
You gotta pay for the service.
Somebody coming to fill it up.
Yeah, man. You gotta take care of them.
So I had a quick question before we get too far past the singing. So is there like a requirement, like in like the pastor school, like you gotta kind of learn how to sing a little bit?
No.
Oh, so I can go up there with my voice?
Can you sing?
No.
Yeah. I mean, can you tell a little Jesus truth?
Yeah.
All right. You saved? You got the Holy Ghost?
Reborn again.
Hey, speaking on that, an episode or two ago, it was a question I asked about, like, what are you actually saved from? Mm-hmm. And I asked it from a respectful, but I was nervous to ask it.
Yes, sir.
So it was like a little chuckle, like, damn, should I answer? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was kind of criticized, but it wasn't no disrespect. It was just me literally nervous to ask the question, but I did want to answer it.
Okay.
So I know you would know as far as the pastor, so I would like your aspect, but I kind of want to go ask the audience, like, if y'all don't mind chiming in. And I just want to ask, like, what do you guys feel that you saved from, and then after that, I want Pastor B to actually break it down to us, if y'all don't mind asking that question.
I like this. These three are my students right here. I want to see what I've been teaching.
So, any of y'all want to?
Like, as far as life goes, I don't feel like I'm saved from like the things that are going to happen to you in life are going to happen to you. Like, you're not saved from turmoil, but like at the end, when you've done your part, and if you you're saved from like eternal damnation. Like, you're not the fiery pit's not waiting for you.
Okay.
Like, that's kind of what I feel.
Okay.
I actually like that answer. I guess I'll take a twist with it. I'm saved from the excuse of being normal and in the world. Like, of course, we all have heard the scripture maybe a million times, be in the world, not of the world. So this is my safe haven for me to continue to not be normal, not fall in line with everybody else. Okay. So I guess it can be a reminder. Saved from old behavior. There's bad reaction. I like that. You know, just dealing with situations in a toxic way. And it's like it's an outlet. So you save from yourself.
Okay. Right there. You want to go, sir?
I went last time.
Okay, so before Pastor B, I just want to thank you guys for actually answering that question and taking it, you know, not as a criticism, but me just seeking information and knowledge from you guys. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I love all three of their answers because what you're saved from, all three of those answers are wrapped up in it, right? So John 3:16, we know it. We say it aloud, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth him shall not perish but have everlasting life. So the answer to that question is you're saved from sin, and not sin as in your actions and what you do, but seeing the embodiment of what the law told you couldn't do in order to please God, right? Mm-hmm. So we go and you look at the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, honor thy mother and thy father, for thy days to be long. Idolatry, envy, adultery, all these other things, right? And what the law did was it pointed us into the direction of what sin was. These are the things that you cannot do in order to please God. But salvation, it doesn't point at what you can do. It points at what you can do. And I don't say that in the sense of saying, well, now you can do these things. No, it just points you in the direction of showing the life that you can live that's pleasing unto God. Why? Because that's what we ultimately want to do, right? So Jesus, and I'll say this real quick and because I don't want to labor on it too long. So Jesus was teaching, and he said, you have heard it's been said that thou shalt not kill, right? That's the law. The law says thou shalt not kill. Jesus said, I say that if you are unrighteously angry with your brother, you've already committed murder. He said, don't look at what you can't do. Fix yourself. Fix your attitude. He then keeps going and teaching, then he lands on this. Give you 2 new commandments. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. And love God with your heart, mind, and soul. And then it answers and it says, well, if I love my neighbor, I'm not going, as I love myself, you going to steal from yourself? You going to lie to yourself? If you're not struggling with the mental attack of suicide, are you going to kill yourself? You going to be jealous of? You going to wake up one day and like, man, I can't stand them glasses you got on. Bro, you ain't looking at yourself in the mirror. So if you can love yourself the way that you love yourself, then love that person, love the next person like you love yourself. And when you can walk in having the freedom to love instead of the fear of not doing wrong, that's what you save from.
I like that. That's it. Thank you, brother.
I think I'm going to come to your church in the morning.
All right. 9:30, we'll be there.
So let's get into
it.
Church hurt / trauma.
All right. You good if I ask the question? Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I have a big voice. As a pastor, as a believer, as a church disciple, and y'all will hear me use it. I don't use member. I don't use church members. I use the word disciple, number one. Member is not in the Bible. You won't find the word member from Genesis to Revelation. It's not a thing. But I understand the vernacular, right? I'm not so holy that I don't understand. But in the church arena, I've heard the term used flippantly. Oh, I got church hurt. Oh, I don't want to go to church. I've been hurt by the church. The church hurt me. The church did this and the church did that, right? The natural combat to that is you got club hurt. You got McDonald's hurt.
Right.
You got man or woman hurt. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that also hurt us, we don't run from as much, right? But we run to church. But again, I say that's natural because the church is not supposed to be the place that you go into and get hurt. So my question is though, and it's loaded, right? Is church hurt real? In y'all's opinion.
I mean, I would say I grew up in church, so What I say is real, I would say it's real, but it's not such a high percentage as people take it and run with it.
Okay.
I think, like I said last week when we were talking about this, like we've commercialized Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do that, church hurt is now in every Tyler Perry movie. It's easy. It's an easy excuse.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even have to give you the reason or how I was hurt. It's just like, no, when I was a kid, it's really you didn't get the chance to play the drums because you were 6. You know what I mean? But there are small people, and I think when a lot of people like just latch on to it, it minimizes the voices of people who really experience things that should be brought into the light because it's such a easy tagline to run with.
For sure.
But I think it's real, yeah, but it's a much smaller percentage than how people walk around with it.
Amen. I take that.
Yeah, I agree with what Pat was saying. I think a lot of the church hurt, quote unquote, is really people being put on Front Street about how they're living. So I know at one point in time I was in a church and I felt that the pastor was kind of giving me looks, but it was just all in my head. It was just, I knew I wasn't living right. I knew I was asking for something, but I wasn't doing my work to change what I was, get what I was asking for. So, I think it's just really, even though you're not living right, and they're calling out certain things, and that script might, or that teaching might just hit you hard that day. You're like, I ain't going back to this church. But really, it's something you needed to hear. But we have to be an adult enough and wise enough to accept that and change.
For sure, I love it.
I would say I haven't really experienced any church hurt. I did used to go to church younger as a child with my dad, my godmom, Johnny and Kathy across the street. What's up, y'all? Vacation Bible study and stuff like that. Even with my godmom. But I would say all the experience I had in church was pleasant. Most people would say, it's super judgmental and stuff like that. I haven't really had that experience. But I would say as far as like us being actually religious, Christianity, I would say on my mother's side was my grandma. She experienced a lot of church hurt because her mother or grandmother. It's been a while since I had the story, but
I got you.
It was just basically like they were giving all their money into the church and everything like that. And then when I believe it was a grandmother. When a grandmother passed, the church wouldn't help with the service and anything, and they was trying to charge them. Yeah. To do the service at the church. And it's like, well, she been paying this money to the church all this time. How would y'all try to charge? Yeah. And she been a member and devoted herself to this church all these years. And then when she died, it's like, okay, well, y'all got to pay this, pay that. And then instead of like, helping with that kind of, I would say that kind of ruined generations of church and my family. But I said I don't have any church hurt, but though I did choose to go another way, but I do respect everyone's religion and choices and all that. So
yeah, I like it.
Because do you think like the church have to like maybe it's like there needs to be better branding behind because even like the church hurt like what I notice is Christians are very proud. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when they feel like they're being attacked or the religion is being attacked, they kind of stand guard, right? Yeah. And I think, do you think sometimes like the messaging kind of plays into like the church hurt? Because to me, church hurt for me is realizing when I was a kid, how you go to a poor church? Yeah. That's not where the hurt comes from. The hurt comes from when you found out you're the poor family in the poor church. Wow. So I think a lot of that is just kids aren't given the same access and the same look from people in authority figures they're told to respect. Yeah. They're not given that same type of attention or praise or admiration. Yeah. So I think a lot of that hurt comes from, because, a lot of people do come from like broken families. So when you go to church, it's a sense of community. Mm-hmm. When I was young, I wanted to make sure my pastor seen me doing the thing that I need to do. Right. And it's like if he don't notice that, does that develop some type of like hurt? The hurt is really just me missing out on a connection that I thought I was just supposed to get. But when you see other people in the church and pastor's family, it's like, wow, that's a whole separate level of access and like that I'm seeing as a kid. I can't really voice it because it's like what right do I have to it? Yeah. You know what I mean?
For sure. That is you just dropped an onion on the table, bro. That thing got layers. No, but that's good. Does the church need to be work on its branding? For that, I will say no. Only in this sense, the church does not need to work on its branding because the brand is Jesus. It's always got to be about Jesus. If it's not about Jesus, it's not a church, right? That's number one. If the church, which a lot of churches aren't, if the church is not, if you go into a church and it's not about Jesus, that's not where you need to be. It's a cult, right? Because the whole thing that makes us a church is Jesus. You know, there is no church. The term church does not even pop up until Jesus mentions it when he's talking to his disciples. Church does not pop up. The word ecclesia in the Greek does not pop up before any of that. That's number one. Number two, you are absolutely right concerning the young people. A lot of emphasis, and maybe sometimes too much emphasis, is put on the pastor's kids, right? And the pastor's kids feel that.
Yeah, that pressure.
That pressure is there.
It's a double-sided coin.
It's oh my gosh. And so where you putting too much pressure on the pastor's kids, you're giving no pressure, no attention, no acknowledgement to the other children that are in the church. And like you said, finding out I'm the poor family in the poor church. Like,
that is really funny.
I wasn't even ready for that one, bro.
We walked here. We walked here. That was like 6 blocks. And my grandma's power walking because she got to get her pantyhose from the gas station first.
See what I'm saying? Like, and that's a real thing too. Bro, I remember stopping at CVS many a Sunday because my wife ain't had no. We got to go to CVS for service. So that's real, but like, yeah, that can be shocking, man. Like, I'm the one in here that's got the real big physical need, and then like even with Rich was saying, you know, people putting in and not being able to get out from the church. But the problem with that is multiple problems. I was gonna say you dropped the onion on the table.
Yeah.
you got poor financial management and leadership. Then you also got poor participation. Yeah. You feel me? Because grandma could have been doing everything she's supposed to do, but that family wasn't doing nothing. So that family wasn't doing nothing. And so the love got to spread around. And when it's time for grandma to recoup, she really can't because everything that she gave is about gone. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And the pride thing, man, the two words don't even go together. But it's a thing, so I don't want to dismiss it. Church and pride. You feel me? Yeah, I'm always going to defend my faith. I'm always going to defend my Lord and Savior. I'm always going to defend my belief system. But I don't need to offend you to do that.
Right.
I don't have to disrespect you to do that. You feel me? Mm-hmm. You can't find in Scripture where Jesus disrespected anybody defending his Father. So why should I? I don't got to defend you. What we got to fight about? I heard a preacher just say the Bible is not trying to convince you that it's true. It's about a Father, his Son, and his kingdom. Either you going to buy into it or you ain't. And so when I take it, and, you know, like I see people right now, I had this joke pop up in my head. Don't nothing get the church on one accord like a new Lil Nas X video. Because we can disagree about everything. We disagree about doctrine, but you let Lil Nas X drop a new video, everybody coming. I seen preachers who disagree in person. Everybody got on that video. Oh yeah, Lil Nas X wrong. I'm like, bro, how are we that agreeable about this, but we can't agree on so many other things? And I think that's what we got to stop doing. I think the biggest thing, and I'm going to say this and hop off and let y'all go. The one thing that's supposed to be helping the church that I think is hurting the church right now is social media. Yeah. Social media is killing us. Yeah. You feel me? Them 30-second reels, and I was a part. When I got my church started, boy, I was preaching, recording my service, then going home and spending 4 hours to build a 30-second reel to try to get the attraction out there. But then I kind of sat back and I watched people, man. I watched people judge a man off of 30 seconds that didn't listen to his 60 minutes. Mm-hmm. They had judged him real hard, church people, non-church people alike. And they had judged a person off of their 30 seconds and they won't even listen to his 60 minutes to figure out what the whole picture is. And what we're trying to use to gain people is actually causing more division indirectly because we're trying to rebrand. That's why I say we don't need to rebrand. We just need to be real. Mm-hmm.
I got a little church hurt humor for you. There we go. My church hurt is we be up there and It's tired. You done got up early. You ready to go and Pastor be like 10 more minutes.
That hurt.
Hey, and that 10 minutes turned into 30 minutes. And then he come, okay, I'm going to be short now. We going to get this over with. And then he shoots you with 30 more minutes. But that's my little church trait, man.
I can agree with that, though. While it's humor, I did pick the church that I currently go to now. I did pick my church just because I'm like, oh, we in and out. But I stopped going because I found at the end.
She picked it because it was fast.
But I stopped going because I found myself at the end of every service like,
what did I learn?
Not even what did I learn, because it's up to me to take it back and do some self-teaching. But it was like, dang, like I don't feel that I got everything that I needed to get off of me off. Yep. I didn't have that moment where I'm just sitting there and I'm crying, and I need that when I go to church. Yeah. I need to sit there and cry. Yeah. And I found myself every time I went, I wasn't crying. It was me packing my stuff back up, going to the rooms to get my kids. And it's like, yeah, y'all got all these daycares, well, not daycare, but they got classes for my kids, but I'm not really
experiencing it.
And I'm not able to release. I don't feel that I'm rejuvenated for the week to come. Sure. So I stopped going. But I get it. Your church better make me cry.
Hey,
what we just gonna have the usher just give you a little onion or something.
So with that said, you basically feel like if you don't cry, you didn't get a good.
I feel that
service, or what is it? Like,
I mean, I done heard some good words, but it's like.
I know what she asked.
You know what it is. Yeah. You know what it is when you haven't been in so long.
Yeah.
You already know your cup is already at its top already. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like the level for me to cry is so low. The bar is so low right now.
That's how I feel. And I went in there. I'm like, I didn't even cry off of this.
I'm already sad.
But
if you can't get a
it's and I challenge. So when we were framing out, me and my wife, when we were sitting down and framing out what our worship experience offering, what that was going to be like, right? We was like, yeah, we got 90 minutes. We're going to be in and out because we didn't want to be long-winded church, right? But then as we went over the course of the year, we realized, because we would be up and you try to do praise and worship and you got about 15 minutes to do praise and worship, and then I got about 45 minutes to speak. And we both realized, like, no, this is not long enough. It's not enough because people come in so heavy. They come in so distracted. You can't do what God is trying to do in people's lives today in 60 minutes.
Right.
It take you almost 30 minutes of singing.
It take me 30 minutes to get to the church. And now you want to sit up here and turn around.
It took half the time I'm here. It took me to get here. So you know what I'm saying? And so we can't rush God.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of times we get caught up in doing too. So I mean, I can't necessarily promise you're gonna cry, but you're gonna laugh, you're gonna have a good time, you're gonna feel, you're gonna hear him scream. You know what I'm saying? It's just our goal is to invite people to an experience with God through people. And if that's not what you're trying to do, if you're trying to rush and get out of there, my wife make a joke all the time. She said, I chose 9:30 so I can get out of church in time and get home to watch the Lions. I was like, that might be true. But people get up for what they want to get up for.
Hey, look, because my first lady, she used to be like, my first lady used to be like, ready to go.
Yeah.
My pastor used to preach the first service at 3-4 p.m.
What?
Yeah.
What time did it start?
Praise worship, 11. Like, he'd just go.
That's a wild church.
So the first lady be like, all right now, pastor. All right. I really appreciate a first lady who, notices when it's time to,
stop.
Not just stop, but know when she got to, make sure his head in the game.
Oh yeah,
it's like a good head coach over there. Like the first lady be like, okay, she making plays. It's like how they know to go over here. Like the first lady really be running the church when he be in that pulpit.
She sure do. Cause my wife be sitting in there. I be like, all right, I gotta move. I know. It's a look.
I have a question. So like Richard Moon mentioned, one of our last episodes or whatever, we had a huge conversation about a lot of different things. And one of the questions was, are you afraid of death? And a lot of us said we are afraid. So what advice would you give someone who is afraid of death? And I don't know if I'm a TikTok person.
Yeah.
I don't post TikToks, but I watch it.
All right.
So
you're a stalker.
No, I just watch the TikTok. So and I'm not friends with nobody on there. I just random people, strangers. And I've noticed that. I came across one TikTok where a girl got out the bed and she was screaming and going crazy and having a full-blown panic attack. Yeah. And hundreds of thousands of people commented saying, I go through the same thing. Me personally, I go through the same thing where I just have panic attacks. Okay. I'm being very, very vulnerable right now, but where I have those panic attacks and I do wake up and I'm screaming to the top of my lungs, afraid of death. So it was crazy for me to see so many other people experiencing the same thing. Yeah. So what advice do you have for people who have those panic attacks and who are afraid of death?
First thing, before I even give the advice, I have to do what Jesus did. I had to ask the question, why are you scared of death?
It's like never being able to see my kids again. And like
Right. Okay. I love that. You won't be able to see them again. If you have Jesus, that's not the truth. Okay. Because salvation in Jesus, if you saved and you train your child up in the way that they should go, and when they get older, they won't depart from it, they're going to get saved. Well, guess what happens? When Jesus comes back, the dead in Christ shall rise first, and then those who are believing and alive should go up with him, and we get glorified bodies. So there is no reason for us to be afraid of death, because death is not destined for us. It's only appointed for every man to die once. After that death, then we come back alive, and we are with him in eternal life. So what I would say is, if you are afraid of death, then you have to ask yourself, do you have Jesus? Because if I'm afraid of it, then that means I need to find a person who takes that away from me.
I think a lot of it comes from me not really believing that there is a heaven.
Boom. Because that is what scares people, is their unbelief. The unknown. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's where even King David said in the Psalms, he said, Lord, help me in my unbelief.
You're right.
Help me in my unbelief. If I'm doing all of this, is my living in vain? Is my preaching in vain? Because if it is in vain, now I'm afraid. It's that uncertainty. It's the lack of faith that makes me afraid of anything. Right. You feel me? Y'all know the story of Peter when he walked on water? Cool, I'll give it to you real quick. I like these. I like these.
Hey, look, that shows.
So the disciples. So Jesus had just got through feeding the 5,000. Y'all know that story? Yep. 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread. Yeah. He just got through feeding the 5,000. He sent the disciples across back to the land. He went to go pray. So the disciples is on the water by themselves. And then they see Jesus walking on water. They don't even know it's Jesus. They think it's a ghost. They are afraid because there's a storm, and they can't really tell it's him. So they're like, it's a ghost. And he's like, no, it's me. And Peter said, if it's really you, tell me to come into the water. Now, Jesus said, come on. It was faith to get him out of the boat, because you said, Peter had already said, if it's you, tell me to come. Jesus said, come on. So why would you get out the boat in the middle of the sea unless you believed that was Jesus, right? But then when he got out of the boat and he's walking on water,
can't believe it.
He can't continue to believe.
So when you can't believe, you go down.
You go down.
I was gonna say that because it's like, look, even in the smallest level, like we all have done something and be like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing it, and then as soon as you do that, it stops. No matter how good no matter what level you was on in Tetris,
man.
You know, no matter what level you was, nothing. When you think like, oh, I can't believe I'm really doing this, like that's when it just kind of corrupts.
Man, I'm a doggone statistic. I don't have a choice but to believe in Jesus. Man, I'm from the east side of Detroit. I live next door to a crackhead house. My great-grandfather was so nice, he used to let the crackheads come over and hang out with us. Like, what are we doing? Then I graduated from high school. I did not go to college immediately. I went and worked at Wendy's. Then I went and, by the grace of God, don't have any children before I got married. Even Moon already said it. We was down there trying to get it in the doggone hospital basement. Ran into the police. Everything about my life suggested I shouldn't even be sitting here right now, but God.
All right.
So when you say death, man, I'm not afraid of death, because death is not appointed to me. And that's what I would say to people. That's the confidence that you get in Jesus. Ant-Man said it perfectly. You're not saved from life's turmoils, but there's something that you are saved from, and that's death. And for those who get depressed, or those who wake up with trim terrors, that's a whole nother lesson. That's spiritual warfare. And that's something that you got to get in and learn about so that you can now have the victory in that. But I'm going to leave that alone. I see y'all Tuesday at Bible study.
Bible study.
Look, I always tell my wife, if I'm twitching, just wake me up. Like I'm just I'm about to jump off a bridge. I was like, come on, hurry up and save me.
I tell if I'm twitching, you better go get the oil that's on your side dresser and swipe it across my forehead. Fake.
Look, crazy. Me and my wife, we went to New Orleans a couple years ago. We was down there for a week.
Okay.
We came back. The first night we were back, I always tell her about this feeling of like you said, tremors or night terrors, but really just very conscious in my dreams always. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like I'm slipping away in my dream. Okay. And I was always like caught before it kind of what's the finality of that. Yeah. So and I could never explain it to her. Yeah. We came back from New Orleans. The first night we were asleep, we just was both just like hitting each other. Like, just not. Wait, did you feel that? Yeah. Hey, no, did you feel that? Like she was experiencing what I've been experiencing for years. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like we were just like literally back and forth, just like passing that feeling to each other the whole night. And just like, she was really scared because she's like, I don't know if I want to go back to New Orleans.
we call that spiritual warfare, man. Because you know, sleep is the closest thing you get to death, right? And so your spirit is now entering. It has full access to the spirit realm, to the spirit arena, and this is in our belief system, obviously. And so when you are open like that, you feel me? You can be snatched away, you can be attacked, you can be susceptible to a lot of things, and it's the life that is your weapon. It's prayer that is your weapon. And so, again, this is just me. You feel me? When you go into that, and as I said, if I have a night terror or if I have a sticky situation,
so that's basically, or like people call sleep paralysis. That's what you're speaking on.
Sleep paralysis is a form of attack, but there's some other things that can actually go on while you're asleep. Like astral projection is real.
I've done it.
Astral projection is real.
You're just outside your body.
You're just outside your body. It's real, but you have to know how to handle these scenarios and situations when you are engaged in them, right? You can't don't just take it lightly, because the spirit realm is real, and God has given us authority over it through Him. We just got to navigate it properly.
Because even growing up, I never really experienced that. I heard people talking about it, but man. They be checking my wife like crazy. And I'm just like, at first I'm like, damn, is she fucking possessed? Because why? Because like I said, I never experienced it, so I'm like, damn, she got some demons on her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, maybe it's this apartment, or we moved. They moved over here with us. You know what I'm saying?
They got to be on you. It ain't on me.
We did 4 apartments in. We got a house. They still can't walk. I'm like, her ass possessed or something. Prayer, so it happened to when they finally got me. And then I'm like, well, damn, these some sex demons on me, because they was literally trying to.
Yeah.
No,
it's real.
And trying to seduce me and stuff. Real. And I'm like, God damn,
What do you mean it's real?
It's real.
Don't think your mind is playing tricks on you.
No.
I know it's real because I experienced it, but what do you mean it's real?
The spirit realm? Or the attacks? The attacks are very real. For number one, if there's a God, the Bible says the God is the spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. So if God does not have a physical body and he is a spirit, then that means his domain is the spirit realm, right? And so when you have these moments, when you have these areas, or when you're being attacked, these are demons that are assigned to keep you depressed, to keep you separated, to keep you mentally drowned and separated from God ultimately. Why? Because of the call that could be on your life. And so what happens is, number one, the devil himself can be assigned to you because he is a spirit. If God is a spirit, then the angels must in turn be spiritual influences. There's a guy now. He's a Christian now. He wasn't always a Christian. He was a warlock. And his name is John Ramirez. He go out preaching everywhere now. And we see witches and stuff. It's like Harry Potter is just a joke, but there's real people out here that are assigned to sending demons to attack real people. And a demon can't attack you because a demon doesn't have a physical body. So if it can't attack you in the physical, it has to attack you in the spirit. And so what you both of you be experiencing are attacks on your mental and your spiritual to keep you separated, or to keep you depressed, or to keep you unrest and uneasy, so that you will not have what God desires for you to have. And a lot of times, like everything else, media desensitizes us to those things. The Wizard of Oz, Good Witch and the Wicked Witch, right? Witches is a witch. A witch is a witch. You can't. It ain't no good witch. I grew up as a kid. I seen every Harry Potter movie at the movies on Friday night. I got the popcorn. I was House Gryffindor and everything. But when I grew up and I realized, no, this is war. This is witchcraft. Mm-hmm. They're training me not to care about the attack that is in this world, and that's what happens. The TV that we watch, the music that we listen to. Who just dropped that album? Andre 3000.
Oh, the flute.
The flute. Andre 3000 said he was visited by spirits in order to make the music that he put out.
Yeah, I heard it's like certain frequencies.
Certain frequencies to trigger
your mind.
Yeah. But then he didn't hide it. But because we don't care and we love Andre 3000 so much, and everybody who says that this album really wasn't good is a hater, we open ourselves up. And then, you know what the one thing we did do? We love Andre 3000 so much and we love his music so much, we ignored the titles of his songs. Go look at the titles of these songs on his album.
The flute album?
The flute album. Look at the titles of these, and he's telling you what spirit influenced him when he was playing.
That's deep.
But it's in front of us, and because it's in front of us, and we love it so much, and you marry that with a couple industry plants, Blueface, what's his name, Blueface and Krishan. You have enough industry plants, and you have enough distractions, you will ignore what's right there in front of you all along.
All right. So I have a question.
Yes. Did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. You good, Star? Okay. So for our women, female listeners, or watchers, so what advice, or I don't even know how to word the question really, all right, but I'm gonna just be real blunt with it. So for us women, single women who's out here dating, and we're sexually active, so we're committing that sin. Yeah. What advice do you have for us? Because we're like trying to date, but I'm not going to say it's hard to like not have sex, but it's hard.
It's hard.
So what, while we're in that realm of dating and, going about our life, trying to find that one or that one find us, what advice do you have for her?
Value your power. Value your power. Men are, I'll use this just for lack of a better term. Men are predators by nature. And we want it. We're going to go after it. But the right one, the one that we really want, we'll wait for it. We'll wait for it. And honestly, even the Bible tells there's no greater sin that you can do to your body than to be sexually immoral. Because you're allowing, again, spiritual warfare. You're allowing spirits into you.
Right.
You're releasing a piece of yourself. You're giving a piece of your power to somebody else. Excuse me. Again, we laughed about it. We joke about it because it was a good joke, right? Eddie Murphy, in one of his stand-up comedies, he said, I can teach everybody in this crowd every man in this crowd, I can teach you how to disrespect your woman, essentially, and get away with it. And everybody was looking in the crowd, right? And this is veiled in joke. He said, if you hit her spot and you hit it real good and you get her to make a sound, ooh, you can do whatever you want and she'll always forgive you for it. He taught a whole arena full of people how to take control over women.
Right.
But because he had on a purple or red leather suit and he was Eddie Murphy, we accepted it as a joke. That's very real.
Yeah.
When you subject yourself to a man that you are not married to, because a man, your husband, his job is to till the ground. His job is to protect the Holy of Holies in his house. You are the Holy of Holies in his house. What is between your legs is the Holy of Holies in your marriage.
Right.
That's the sacred place. Why? Because sex is supposed to be ultimate. It is the glorious example between man and woman that God desires to have between his church. It's intimacy on a personal and intimate level. And men who don't value you, men who make that a requirement, and I was a loser too, so I have my fair share. I'm not over here holier than thou.
And I appreciate your honesty.
Absolutely. Men who don't value you or who just want what they want, which is their 15 minutes of fame. I'm stretching
6.
it. Okay. I'm stretching it. They want their couple of minutes of fame, man. And guess what? You saying no? Okay, he gonna find the next one.
Right.
You're fine. You're good enough not to.
Right.
You're valued high enough not to. I remember, man, when me and my wife were engaged, we went to premarital counseling, and we didn't go to, because my father-in-law was our pastor, but we didn't go to him because we wanted a non-biased thing. And the pastor that we went to, he said, don't do it. Don't do it again until you get married. But we did it.
We said, don't do it. Don't do
that
it.
Wedding night, it was different. It was different. Now when we was dating, there was no short change of instances. I guarantee you, it was this time on our wedding night was completely different than every. I don't even want to count it. However many times we did it before, July 12, 2012, it never felt different. It never felt better.
That's true.
You feel like because like you've been waiting on it and you just wanted it so bad, now you finally got it.
Brother,
it's like holding up the trophy at the end of the finals.
Nah, not even that. Well, sure, we can go with that. But but no, it was because at this point he was teaching us how to love God more than we loved each other, which sounds crazy, right? I loved God so much that I finally had engaged in sexual activity with my wife, and there was no guilt. There was no shame. There was nothing to feel guilty about. Yeah. I did it I had the ring on my finger. Right. So when we did it, it's like winning the championship without cheating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm sorry, Michigan fans. It's like winning the national championship without any of the Jim Harbaugh scandals. It's like that. It's like you still get to do it. Sex is there. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have all of the crazy whatever you want to do because the marriage bed is undefiled. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to go against God to do it.
Right. Is oral sex a thing in the Bible? Are we allowed to have oral sex?
I don't see where they don't.
Okay. I'm just asking.
The marriage bed is undefiled. The one thing you can't do in the marriage bed is have another person there.
Okay. So we can do anal? I'm just asking. I ask questions that most people won't ask. So. All right.
So let me say this. So
he said he thought he had it all figured out when it's undefiled. He said no.
Hey, listen.
ETC.
So what you want to do? What you want to consider? What you want to consider with anal is again, I don't want us walking.
There's no serious way to ask this.
It's not. It's so irritating. All right, so here it is. All right, I'm gonna get it out. Is it wrong for a married couple to have anal? I would not say it's necessarily pleasing to God.
Okay.
However, again. You pray about that with your husband, and y'all hear what God has to say about that for real. Okay. Number one, the health risks that come with anal sex.
And let's just keep it at the bed of marriage is undefiled. I think that covered everything.
I think it did. You know what I'm saying?
When you said that,
yeah,
I just put everything under there. Except for the
when I find my husband, we gonna pray on it together.
No, everything's under there.
Pray on it.
I swear.
When you find your husband,
he got his answer.
That booty hole. He in trouble.
Okay. I get with you. So.
Go pray about that.
I'm just saying.
Hey, so back to before we get too far on that, back to the guilt of having sex. Do you think it just is a religion thing, or you actually feel like you really feel guilty outside of religion to having sex?
Well, I will say, which is why the Bible talks about it. Like before I even got in the church, these weren't thoughts of mine. You know, I was fornicating before I got saved. And now, here's the thing: I didn't grow up in the church, right? My mom's side of the family didn't go. My dad's mom did. So whenever I went over her house, she took me. But that wasn't a topic that had crossed before I got out of the church. So I was 15, 16 years old. I stopped going. So yeah, ton of sex, and I didn't think about it at all. But then when I got to know God and I understood that wasn't something that was pleasing to him, and I understood what it actually did to me on the negative side, I felt some things before I got saved, but I understood what those things were once I got saved. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Like I felt some things, I just didn't know what they were. But then when I got saved and I got that understanding, I knew what it was I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I think it's innate in all of us to feel some type of uncertainty, which is why, you know, I've never met a young woman who enjoyed their first time having sex.
Me either.
Like mentally, you know what I'm saying?
I've never heard.
And I've never met a young man who actually told the truth about his first experience, other than, oh man, dog, I was up in it and I was doing that thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Men gonna cap to their blue in the face.
We definitely had that talk.
So, as being a pastor, you guys are looked at as, your life is perfect. You don't have any worries or anything. So, is there anything currently that keeps you up at night or that worries you?
Honestly, them. They keep me, not just them, but like everybody that's in my congregation, they keep me up at night. And I'm not perfect, you know what I'm saying? But I have resolve. When the one thing I love about being saved is when I'm wrong, the Holy Spirit check me real quick. He checked me real quick. I can have argument with my wife, and if I say the wrong thing and we separate, he'd be like, no, you was wrong, bro. Go back in there and fix that.
Right.
And then if I'm not trying to hear it, I'll call him, and he'd be like, no, bro, go back home and fix that. But what keeps me up at night are my children and my congregation, because I want them to get it.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of them things that with the wife, you be at work misdelivering mail.
I just want to comment on that question. I think the old style church used to idolize the man behind the pulpit. I think that's a grave mistake.
Yeah.
Church people have. And once we see them as human, I think that kind of moves the goalposts a bit. But you kind of understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't idolize the man. We idolize his teaching, his love, and his walk. Obviously, you want to learn from great teachers, so you want somebody that can talk the talk, but also walk the walk as well.
Right.
So it's an honor to learn from him and his wife. But we don't idolize the man.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's.
They do not.
I think that's the same thing. Like, kind of like as I got older and talking to my parents, they had us when they were young.
Yeah.
And just like being able to talk to them who they are and not as mom and dad, understanding like.
You a PK?
Huh?
You a PK?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just was around them ways. But like you talk to them, it's like, wow, you were that age when you had me.
Yeah.
Just understanding like that's why it kind of take a lot of the issues that I thought I had.
Yeah.
Once I realized that.
Yeah.
A lot of those issues weren't real issues. It was like, oh, you were 22 with 4 kids trying to figure it out. I'm mad about this thing. You were 25. Like, how are you trying to figure this thing out? I think a lot of that just put things in perspective for me. So I think it's the same thing, like just looking at every human as a human, no matter who, no matter what position they hold, because it takes away a lot of that
humanity,
and that esteem that you just have for that person to not be just human.
Yeah. At the same time, too, though, us as pastors, us as preachers, us as faith leaders, we have to be willing to be transparent, right? Transparent enough to know, for the people to know that we are human, but like Brother J. Ryan said, we still got to walk the walk.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, but I'm definitely doing my best to get this thing right. You know what I'm saying? And we have to put the things in practice that we teach it. Otherwise, we're hypocrites. Mm-hmm. So while we may not be perfect, we good. I like to call us good students. You know what I'm saying? You see you remember the good student.
You're on the honor roll.
I'm on the honor roll, right? Let's call it. If God got a report card, I'm on the honor roll. I may not have straight A's, but doggone it, I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
And that's what we all have to be trying to do. And what we as on both sides of the coin, we as leaders have to lead, not boss around. You know what I'm saying? I was in a meeting with somebody, and he was like, man, how do you tell people what to do? I said, I don't tell anybody what to do. I suggestively request. I lead them. I do. I suggestively request. You know what I'm saying? We pass out food every Thursday. I request the people to come, but you know who the first person there every Thursday? Me.
Right.
Last person to leave every Thursday? Me. Who there every Wednesday and Thursday building the food boxes to pass out? Me. So I can't tell you to do something that I'm not doing.
You want to, those who are listening in need, you want to just give out the address again?
Absolutely.
Or whatever.
Absolutely. 19445 Eastwood Drive, Harper Woods, Michigan. Every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. we pass out food to the community. And we would, if you have a need or if you know somebody that has a need, we ask that you partner, come grab a box for somebody else. And we are there. We have not, I think, we have only missed 2 Thursdays in 14 months, 15 months. We don't miss on that. And sometimes we've taken it to the west side of Detroit and done it. So 19445 Eastwood Drive, Harper Woods, Michigan, Thursdays, 5:30 p.m.
How do those who would want to donate or help with that cause reach you? Or
you can Cash App $LR Church MI. So $LR Church MI is the Cash App, or you can go on. We accept PayPal at LRCMI, and then we have an app that we use called through Tithely. We'll put the link in the video comments or something. You can get there and you can reach us there. You can donate there on our website, livingrockmi.com/donate.
I have 2 more questions.
Come on, 2 more questions.
Sorry, I got to get all my questions out before I go.
All right.
So one of my questions is, what advice do you have to someone who's constantly like praying and thinking they're not necessarily doing everything right or living right, but they're trying their hardest, and they're constantly praying. Like when I say praying, like boohoo crying, praying, and like, dang, why God isn't answering me? Like I'm doing everything. I'm treating people right. I'm so good to people, but I'm constantly asking for this one simple thing, and I can't get it. So what advice do you have for her?
This one of them things that kind of sting a little bit that people don't always gonna like is what you asking for in God's will for you. A lot of times we just want what we want, and we want God to bless it. That's the thing. Like that's the thing we try to cover it up for. Like, man, I really want this. God, can you give it to me? And God is like, yeah, I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. Would you give your child something that you know is not gonna benefit them?
No.
So why should your Father in heaven do the same thing to you? He wouldn't be a just father if he did it.
Right.
That's the first thing that we got to ask.
Right.
The second thing is, what are we asking for it for? A lot of times, man, we the thing about how I teach, everything that I teach, how I teach, I did not get saved for myself. I did not accept Jesus Christ. He did not save me from my sins so I can be good. He saved me so I can help the next person. So who benefits from what you asking for?
Right.
Who benefits from it? You, for you to floss, for you to brag, for you to say, oh, I was married now. You're going to be divorced in 6 months.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you got that new car? You can't afford it. It's going to be repoed in 30 days.
All right.
That stuff that we got to ask for, we have to begin to ask God, is this what you want from me? And you have to have the peace if that answer is no.
Right.
That's what we don't like hearing. America has babied us. This country has babied us. The American dream spoiled us rotten. We don't like that word.
Okay, my next one. I got 2 more. Sorry. All right, I'll make it quick. All right, so my next question is, do you ever, I hear so many people like, or pastors say, or people in the church, like, I walked past this person and something just came over me and I need to reach out and touch them, have a word with them, or just pray for them. Do you get those feelings? Okay.
Yep, sure do.
Okay.
It's we call it the unctioning of the Holy Spirit.
Okay. How often do you think you have them?
Oof. I had them a lot more before I started working from home, right? But no, you have them. You have them as often as you get in tune with the Spirit. If you ain't in tune with the Spirit, then you ain't gonna hear from him. You're not gonna hear it in order to move.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So my last question is really for everyone, but you could start answering it first. But if you were in a room with everyone that you've ever met in your life, who would be the first person you would go and find?
Can you run that back one more time?
Yep. So if you were in a room with everyone you've ever met, whether it was just a simple hey, walk past, whatever it is, every single person that you ever bumped into in life, who would you go look for first? You might not know their name, but it could be anyone. Out of everyone you've ever encountered in your entire life, so your life as your age now, who would be the first person you would go and find? And then why?
My great-grandmother. Out of pure childlike, so I met her when I was 1. She died before I turned 2. I met her when I was a baby. She died before I turned 1. I heard all the stories that me and her used to have. But again, she died before I turned 1. So I would love to have experienced that person that people said I enjoyed so much as a baby.
Oh.
I would say my grandmother too. My dad's mom. She passed like right before I was born. So I would love to get that time and experience and get that love with her and have her in my life and just experience her and her love and whatever knowledge she have for me. Just her presence.
Give me that wisdom, please.
I guess for me, I'd probably say, it was a toss up. Probably go with Prince.
You met Prince?
No, but it sounded.
I'm like, wait a second. I'm trying to.
Prince.
I'm over here thinking of the qualifications for the question. I'm like, where met Prince?
It's like, nah, but
Game blouses.
I would probably say my brother, because he had a lot of. I think he was ahead of his time a lot with just. A lot of things that I was kind of like a little too comfortable to like move on.
Yeah.
And now like, he passed away 5 years ago. So it's like, I wish I had that desire to just go and do certain things and like ideas, put them in motion.
Yeah.
Back then I could just see how he was just like a thinker. What's next? What's the next thing? And I kind of wish I had that. Opportunity to do that.
For sure.
Before I get mine, I'm gonna let the audience.
My grandma.
Your grandmother.
We gotta get to say goodbye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your who?
My brother.
Your brother.
For me, it would probably be my pops.
Your father.
Living or alive. Living or
yeah.
Probably my pops. He's still alive. Only from the reason, like, the person that even my cousins grew up around, the person that my sister knows that he is, the person that my grandmother knew that he was before she passed in 08. I don't know that guy. So he was like, man, let's go back and try again.
Yeah.
That is a hard thing when people tell you stories and you have this imagination of who that person could have been to you. It's like, man, like that.
And why did you say your brother? Is your brother passed away? Okay. I would say mine would be I was pregnant at a very, very young age, and I didn't get the option to say whether I wanted to carry the child or have an abortion. I had to have a procedure where they forcefully take the child.
Okay.
So I would, if I had the opportunity, I would go and find that child just to, I guess, like, just try to have that connection. It's a reason why, that situation happened and why I was pregnant, and just to get that connection.
Amen. That works.
So I was thinking of how you feel about people of different religions, marriage and all that.
It's tough. It's really tough, especially depending on what I want to call it, the tenets of your faith, right? So for Christianity, the Bible says, "What good or what fellowship does light have with darkness?" Right, and that's talking about the children that are faithful to the faith versus those who are not faithful to the faith. If you put it out in proper context, though, you're talking about people who accepted Christ in the proper context of when it was written. Those who accepted Christ and are trying to live the life versus those who aren't. So people married of the different faith, of course, it's not impossible. I can't get on here and do that because people have done it, right? But it is definitely challenging. It's even challenging for two Christians to be married and go to different churches. Like, and I've seen that. Wild. I seen that firsthand. My grandparents, my dad's parents, man, they my whole life, and to this day, they always went to two different churches. Yeah. And now they old school though. It wasn't no divorce, and she was a wife, and she took care of her husband, and he paid all the bills, and he took care of his wife. But boy, they didn't necessarily get along. Their understanding of a lot of things. At the core of everything was different. So I can only imagine with two people who actually believe two different things, how that works. I would just say it's tough. Mm-hmm. It's got to be.
It worked for us probably because neither of us is like super religious.
Okay.
But I seen different couples, a younger and older couple, where it worked. Like I guess would depend on what service started first. They would go to church, and then they would go to the mosque.
Yeah.
Or they would go to the mosque, then church. So I know it works. I just feel like long as your person is, faithful in what they believe in and is, respectable and understand each other's religion and beliefs, I know it works because, like I said, I'm living it.
Yeah.
But I know other couples that it does work with. So I would just like to say for those who are listening, don't let that be. Well, I can't say that because people feel how they feel about their faith, but don't really let that. Well, I just say in my experience, don't let that be really a deciding factor on if you got someone you truly love and they really got your back and you guys figure life out together and it's working. Don't let that tear you out apart, man. Nobody can really tell you how to live your life. Like I said, if you got a partner, you guys respect each other's views and everything, and y'all work together, and God might have put y'all to be together, even if it's only one guy, however we choose to go about it. Like I said, I can't tell nobody not to, respect.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's tricky, bro. And again, I can't say it's impossible because again, even you just said it. If that's your situation, I think it definitely boils down to how loyal and how into your faith you are in. Because when one of you gets down to it, it can, and it may not necessarily always will. It can cause a true rift. You feel me? Because then when you start talking about, and a big thing, you start talking about raising children. Mm-hmm. One thing I will say, I'll say this first, I do not know the complete in-depth details of the tenets of faith for Islam or the nation or Muslims, but I will give them respect. They have great behavioral disciplines, right? Some that a lot of Christians don't have. But at the same time, when we talking about the tenets of faith, if you married, I believe those who are actively practicing it, they can't get with a woman who ain't about the tenets of the faith. And I'm not saying, like you said, I'm not saying that that's something that you should make the final decision. But I think when people really are about who they believe in, that's going to come down to spouse talk too. And I think those conversations get more and more difficult if and when one or both of the spouses really get into practicing their faith. Because that's something that we come to understand too. A lot of people say they have faith, but a lot of people don't practice their faith. You feel me?
That's why I say, like, I'm not really super religious, but I know what I believe and I know how I feel in my heart. But I do know people that are super religious in their faith and their marriage is perfectly fine.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just about, like I said, I would say it's more individual based than opposed to just on a broad perspective of like, okay, you Christian, you can't marry a Muslim, or if you're a Muslim, you can't marry a Jehovah's Witness, or if you Jewish, you can't. I just feel like it's individual based, man. As long as you doing right by your partner, and like I said, you still going by your guidelines or whatever faith you have. And
yeah.
I believe it can. I know it can work.
It can work.
So
yeah, I think that will take an extraordinary level of just like communication, and understanding. But I do think it can work. But it is, both people are just gonna have to be open, because it's just. Not even just for it's just like even like because there's like traditions that we do with a lot of things, and I think that can be a conflict. But I think for the most part, as long as everybody is like just respecting everybody's thing, at base level, like that's enough of a conversation starter. I just think leading with as long as it's, you leading with respect and love of what, the other person is doing, I think, you can kind of figure out and navigate that how you see fit.
For sure. Yeah. And, what they say, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
You can't control anybody. Man can't control woman can't control man. Man can't control man, woman can't control woman. It's got to be respect. It's got to be done in love. And again, anything is possible. As I said, I definitely won't say it's impossible. It's gonna be tough though.
Yeah,
it's definitely tough. Communication is key, and compromise.
I agree.
Yeah, Y'all been looking at those like Chime Time like food reviews in the city. Like Mr. Chime Time got in the uproar.
Yeah, I seen it, man. I mean, listen, man. Social media is so funny. We're mad at a man giving an opinion about food, and we don't even eat our auntie food because we don't think she can do it.
Exactly.
Like, how you mad?
You gonna be over here for 10 minutes.
Yeah, don't go.
You tell the kids, don't take your coat off.
Don't take your coat off, bro. Auntie can't cook. So because bro came in town and he said auntie can't cook, we mad? Like, no, that's his opinion. You feel me? You know, he's Mr. Chime Time. And then, you know, I saw somebody say it and I agree with it too. Like, you know, bro, here. Like, we all know what he look like. Why are you giving him anything less than your A game?
Yeah.
Because he going to hop on there and he going to talk about you. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know,
and you just let him spend $100-something in your store. You just like, you ain't make that order fresh.
Come on, bro.
That's crazy, yeah.
I'm giving you my best shot, bro. But what my man, what Easy say in Straight Outta Compton, all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
You feel me?
He just did a food review on the Food Exchange.
The Big Baby?
Yeah. Crazy part, I just seen the food review he put up. I was literally at work today. When I tell you that line was just like it was like a funeral procession.
Because the Big Baby is fire, bro. I've been eating that almost 20 years. That burger's amazing.
But it's crazy.
What did he say about it?
You know, he gave it good reviews.
Okay.
Because the owner, Bruce, he passed away.
Okay.
So his wife is running it,
up,
her kids.
Yeah.
So it's been a struggle because it's been a word of mouth business its whole time. The last 20 years.
Okay.
So now he did a review, and now it's just
it's bombing.
Yeah,
I mean booming. I'm sorry.
A line just wrapped.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That burger's amazing, man.
I mean, that man got he got opinions, bro. I mean, like I ain't gonna guarantee it, but I can promise you, like we can put something here that all three of us eat, but we like it in different ways.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying, like. Let that man free. I don't know. Take the buffs off though. Take the buffs off. You
when he put them on, he kind of did like this. They was kind of like
they are cricket. Bro, that's not. Take them off, man. You ain't.
Yeah, he kind of put them on like the Sketcher glasses.
He good in my book because I'm gonna eat what I eat. I don't care what you say about it.
Yeah, like I said, we all got different taste buds.
Yeah, man.
I hate onions. You might love onions on your burgers. I hate tomatoes, so you can't really say. Long as the review isn't. Yeah, man, that spot was nasty as hell. I see some roaches, rats in them. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. It's some Chinese. That's how the best Chinese food places, boy, look like they need to be shut down.
Man, yeah. So by me working at Cisco, we deliver food, man. So I go in the back and that kitchen nasty.
What the?
I'm never eating there. I swear to God, I don't care what you say. If that kitchen look nasty. Oh yeah, take them off the list. You know, it could be my favorite restaurant. Like, damn, these niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, if it ain't clean or nothing like that, I can't eat it. But other than that. The food good, man. It's fresh. I'm gonna eat it. As long as it ain't salty or nothing, I eat.
There you go.
I'm very picky. You know how I eat. So probably wouldn't nobody like if I was
just picking everything off of it. Like I was watching the video, and it was these two business partners, and they had a discrepancy about how much they wanted to sell product for.
Okay.
And one had a number, and one just felt like he was selling them too short.
All right.
And that was enough for them to like end the business partnership in its entirety.
You was watching Power?
It must be so common. This is crazy. Hey, Power still on?
Yeah. Not the original one.
Oh, okay. Like Zane books with the Power. Like,
Lulu out here tripping, man.
Yeah, but I was wondering, like, how do, like, if you have a business partner and things, how do you think people go about determining what's value, or what should we sell it for, or what should we hold out for? Like, how do you think people in businesses should come up with that type of strategy?
I feel like it would have to go with of course, the cost of we pay for whatever product, the time or whatever it is it took to prepare it, the materials, you know what I'm saying, and wants and needs, supply and demand. You want it, I got it. So depending on how bad they want it, then you gotta, I say base your price on that. But like I say, it's different qualifications that come into making a price.
I think like everything else, you got to create a standard, right? So we got to create the standard and say we deem this valuable, and no matter what we come across, it has to meet the standard. And we have to agree upon that standard regardless of how we feel. The standard is what is outside of our emotions, and I think if we can hold to the standard, then there's nothing else to talk about, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, what does the profit margin look like? So, if we're gonna say anything less than $1,000, we don't deem that as valuable, regardless of the time we spend on it. If it didn't hit 1,000 on the profit side, it's not valuable to us,
right?
And whatever that is, so when we come down to it, then we don't have nothing to argue about. You know what I'm saying? We hit 800. Well, guess what? What the standards say? The standards say that bad boy less than 1,000. So no, that's not valuable to us.
Yeah.
And I think if you hold to the code,
that's something. So you say that's something that should be established
at the beginning.
Yeah. So when you get to a point where somebody is looking to see what they're willing to pay, what value they put on it, we can always have like a point of reference.
You have a point of reference, and then you got to meet regularly. Quarterly, biannually, because if you need to move the standard, if you know what I'm saying, because maybe we realize, hey, 1,000 too hard for us to hit. Let's come down and make this the new set of value. You know what I'm saying? But you got to meet regularly, you got to talk regularly, and you got to make sure you know the code. You got to know the code.
Yeah, because I'm just noticing like that, and like just even in like culture, podcasting, music, sports. It seemed like black people, we have a hard time of sticking to whatever plan that whatever can, and it seemed like there's always a discrepancy about take the money, wait for another number. It seems like that's like the most common discrepancy I see.
Because, and I don't even want to limit it to black people, but I understand where you're coming from because we're the ones who we behind in the race, right? Again, we don't have a standard, and our standard is not equal across the board, right? Dr. Umar's standard is not the same as it's not the same as everybody else's. You feel me? Even in the church arena, our standards are not the same across the board. You know what I'm saying? And that's where us as people, bro, we have to, and of course everybody's business is subject, but what is the standard? It may not necessarily be a dollar amount. Let's just make the standard excellence. Let's make the standard professionalism. Let's make the standard punctuality. I'm tired of color people time. You feel me? Like let's just pick a standard and stick to it. And whatever we have to come back and rearrange and look at, we got all of these educated people and scientists and college students and college graduates, and we move the goalposts, but who did we move the goalposts? Who approved it? Who do we sit down and discuss with it, right? We even look at it in the hip-hop game, right? Man, it used to be bars on top of bars on top of bars, and you actually used to be able to spit in order to be considered a rapper.
It's crazy now.
Not now. You just need a banging beat and some good repetitive words.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter no more.
Yeah.
It don't matter no more. You used to be able to actually hoop to make it to the league. You actually used to have to play football a certain way to make it to the league. Tom Brady just talked about it. He just clowned like almost every quarterback in the league like 3 months ago. He was like, I remember when I used to have to study the game so much, I used to have to know how to throw the ball so my guy wouldn't get hit. Forget these soft crybaby rules. Be a better quarterback.
Yeah.
Put the ball where it gotta go.
You know where
you feel me? Like that was the game. Let me figure out how to be the best at it no matter what.
That was the beauty of seeing Matthew Stafford lose like that because
here we go.
It's like, he's still throwing people into getting tore up. Like he ain't learned his lesson yet.
See what I'm saying?
He's gonna be doing this. I wish I can get a speech at his Hall of Fame because he's gonna be there, right?
Yeah, hopefully
he's gonna be there. I wish I could just say, had lined up all the receivers with their crutches that's gonna be there.
Yeah,
it's like
is that him though?
You said be a better quarterback. I was just alluding that he needs he's still throwing people in traffic. I was like, wait, like this is I thought it was new and improved over there in LA for a minute.
It is.
You a Stafford?
I'm a Stafford guy.
He said it is.
That's why he got the ring. It's better over there. No, I get what you're saying though. Like,
so speaking on coaching, I remember you was a football coach.
Yeah,
what led you to get into that, and what's like your experience?
I mean, I love the game. I love the game a lot. I still love the game.
I know you also played too.
I did play, and then so I had the opportunity. I had never coached, right? And so job opened up. Dearborn Heights, Robichaud. Shout out to the Bulldogs. I applied, and what do you know? I got hired, right? I got hired to coach defensive line. Me and another guy, we got hired at the same time, and I wasn't. All right, whatever. I wasn't ready, right? And so I went in. I wasn't ready for the process, but I adjusted on the fly. So during the interview process, the head coach at the time, he got up on the board. He was like, "Hey, draw this and show me how you would beat it," because I'm a defensive guy. Showed him how to beat it. I got the job, hired the defensive line. Well, what I didn't know, I got into high school sports, and 707 was real hot and popular when I got in, right? So during 707 season, our defensive coordinator quit. Him and the head coach just kept getting into it, and so he sat me down. He was like, "All right, you gonna get a 707, and the coach that I hired with you, he gonna get a 707, and whichever one come out with the better defense, they gonna get the job." I came out with the better defense. He made me the defensive coordinator. Man, we had an amazing first year. Went to playoffs, 3 rounds deep. Best defense in the conference. Like, we was killing it. He got fired, and I applied for the head coaching job. I kind of knew I wasn't gonna get it, but I did it anyway. Just gave it a shot. They hired another guy. He decided to keep me on as defensive coordinator, which is not a frequent thing that coaches do, right? And so,
was you like a cover 2, cover 3 guy?
I'm a man guy. I'm a man blitz guy, and I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna make it look like 2, and I'm gonna send you a 3. I'm gonna make it look like 3, and it's a 0. Like, I'm gonna play with you. I'm for all the smoke, right? I'm gonna take all the risks, and did that. Had another good season, and he left. So I had 2 head coaches in 2 years. I applied again. I didn't get the job. And so the new guy that they brought in, he was like, "Hey, I want you to stay on too." I'm like, "Man, y'all ain't gonna keep asking me to stay."
Right. Yeah.
But he didn't want to give me the same position. He wanted me to go back down the defensive line. And so I got work, right? I'm on Twitter because I'm learning the coaching game. Coaches is on Twitter. Why? Because colleges is on Twitter. And I ran into this guy who was actually supposed to be a candidate for the school I was coaching at too. His name was Kevin Rogers. Shout out to Kev. He's head coach at Melvindale now. And he said, "Who want to get on Zoom and talk about football?" I was like, I got you. I'll send you the link. Hopped on there, had a great conversation, talked great football. And he was like, "I got a spot at my school that I have a defensive coordinator, but I want him to get a little bit more sound in his play calling." I said, "Okay, whatever." I don't have a big head, right? I'm confident in what I do. I don't have a big head. Because when my first year of DC, I had an older coach come, and he was giving me pointers and stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, all right, cool. I can use that. No, I can't use that." So when he told me about it, he wanted me to come over to Loyola with him in Detroit. I was like, cool. I met him, and the DC was very humble. I was very humble. I picked his brain. He picked my brain. I ain't talent aside. I guarantee you, we had one of the best defenses in the state of Michigan without winning the doggone state championship. Now, we had some talent deficiencies. We had some number deficiencies, so we didn't win it all. But the schemes, the coaching, the pure energy drive, please, had the best defense in the state of Michigan. I like the guy so much, I brought him to my church. Okay. But no, it was a great couple years, and then Kev left Loyola. And we both applied for the head coaching job at Loyola. Neither of us got it. They brought another guy in, and he wanted us to stay on. But right when they hired the new guy, I heard my call to pastor.
And that was one of my questions.
Yeah,
like, because I got to say that's probably one of the most irritating things for anybody to tell you if you grow up in church.
What's that?
You got a calling on your life.
Nobody told me. Well, somebody told me, but they told me years ago. I heard it, but that wasn't my concern, right? So I heard that I had a call. I didn't dismiss it, but I didn't feed into it too much, right? I was like, okay, I'm serving right now though. Like, my father-in-law is my pastor. He teaching good. I'm learning. I'm growing. This is what I'm about right now. I got a wife. I got kids. I ain't nobody's pastor right now, so I ain't even thinking about that. But when I watched what God was doing, and he took me out the football arena. The guy that replaced Kev, he called me. He said, hey, I want you to be my DC. I said, give me a second. Let me pray about this. And I prayed about it, and the Lord was like, no, I got you on another tip right now. You can't do that. And I called that man back, and I said, I can't do it. And I hung up that phone, and I cried like a baby. I did like Red off of Friday. I cried in the car. And my wife was sitting right next to me, and I just cried because I knew at least, and I don't know I don't know if he ever is gonna open that window back for me to go back. But for the moment, I knew it was over.
What you had to do, yeah.
I knew what I had to do.
It
broke me.
And you know, and I think another thing is like, I'm sure when you had that moment, you know, your wife was there and like she was supportive of that moment. Like, I think that's another thing to speak to.
Yeah.
When you feel like you're called to do something.
Yes.
The discernment, you know, necessary that you need, the discernment from your wife in that moment is very important.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
she can respond with how she feels. If she feeling like a little adverse to it just because it's a shocking thing.
For sure.
Or she can respond in a way of support and give you that little bit of push.
Yeah.
Even though I'm accepting it, there's still a little hesitance. I'm on the diving board. I'm on the edge.
Yeah.
I still might take a couple steps back if somebody don't give me that little nudge.
For sure.
Having that your wife or somebody, that partner, to kind of like give you that little nudge, silent nudge.
Absolutely.
It's like it's like when opportunity and preparation. It's like it's there. Like,
absolutely.
That's that spark. I
It
even
is.
see that when people that start businesses. Like, oh yeah, my wife said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
That "let's go" is so powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's another thing that, like, you know, I see kind of downgraded when you talk about marriage and stuff.
Yeah.
That's another thing that people don't take into account.
They don't take it into account in either direction, right? So I had my father-in-law told me early in my ministerial career, he was like, man, your wife, she can make or break your ministry. Because if she opposed to it, you're going to feel every bit of that opposition. But if she for you, there's nothing that you can't do, right? And so, but here's how society flipped it, though. We're so used to women supporting men, we don't teach men how to support our women.
Yeah.
When they have goals, when they have aspirations, we just be like, all right, go do your thing. No.
Yeah.
She need that.
I think that's why you have. I think even women now at a point in time feel like they have a small voice to vocalize that.
Yeah.
You get a lot of table talk on YouTube from men.
Yeah.
You know.
And for what?
I think that's kind of like they're pushing against a norm that we've seen our parents and our grandfathers and fathers live in.
Yeah. And
now that, you know, our wives are kind of stepping outside of that tradition of what we just so used to seeing for generations.
Yeah.
We're trying to learn how to navigate with it, because it's like we feel she's not wrong, but it's making me feel less of what the man is supposed to feel based on what they told me a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like it's a hard balance.
It's a hard balance because of that word you just said, because your feelings. I say that, listen, when I know I'm getting ready to say something tough to my congregation, I be like, take your feelings and throw them out the window. We don't have time for it. Like, if she's trying to do, I told my wife this. My wife is a friggin' genius, by the way. Like, shout out to my wife, Allison Andrews, Pastor Allie at Living Rock Church. Shout out to Stephanie Embry, J. Ron's wife, Anaris Witherspoon, Kente's wife, Asia Taconi, Ant-Man's wife. I love all of their wives. They're wonderful. Look, I got them because their wives all say yes, right? So, but like, I told my wife, man, my wife's a genius, bro. She got 3 degrees. We've owned 4 or 5 daycare. She's like chased her passion like violently. Men have to be okay, right? We've so used to society of her being your wife. Sometimes you got to be her husband.
Yeah.
Sometimes she got to be the face, and you got to be the one that pushes. That does not mean she's leading you. That does not mean she's more powerful than you. That means as a king, we don't talk about kingdoms enough in marriages. So we don't talk about the kingdom dynamic as far as marriage is concerned, right? When you look at a king traditionally, what does a king do in the kingdom? Nothing. He sits on the throne. He governs. Everybody in the kingdom works, and the king sits. Now, don't mistake what I'm saying. Men are not supposed to be lazy. But if you got a woman that's a go-getter, do not be afraid by that. She's making the kingdom better.
Right.
She make the kingdom
better. You know what's funny? That was my wife that just walked in.
So, what?
Yeah.
Man, I ain't say nothing. I would say hi.
So I'm gonna say this before she come back outside. So we was literally having this conversation today, and one of her big things was, do you trust that I have your best interest in mind, or why don't you feel that you can kind of relinquish some of that responsibility to me, right? And no matter what I could say, to try to justify or to try to like give her a reason why that is, the moment she even uttered those words, it was almost like, you're right. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking like, because it's like, why am I stressing over something? Why am I like in my mind saying I got to race home so I can set this hamburger out the freezer when she's at home and I can just tell her, set the hamburger out the freezer? It's like, just have a small, analogy, but that's when it really hit me. Like, no, I don't purposely hold off on things, or responsibilities or things that need to get done. Yeah, but I'm learning that I have to feel like it's okay that she kind of takes. I actually just told her that today. Like, I'm okay with you being a quarterback sometimes.
Nothing wrong with it.
And I think that's just another. That's what I'm starting to realize is, I think that's her way of saying I have more to offer. I have more to do in this thing than what I'm doing. So it's like that's kind of like one of the things that we literally just talked about today.
Yeah, and sometimes, man, we just it's not a soft thing. It's not you know what you offer as a man. You know who you are as a man, and you ought to know who your woman is. You ought to know who your wife is. You ought to know who your partner is. Why? Because she might be like, why in the world are you managing the finances and she got the accounting degree?
Yeah, and that's like, that's how I work with us. Like, we don't do gender roles in like my household. I mean, of course, I take the trash out, cut the grass, and shoving stuff and stuff like that. But as far as like cooking, cleaning, paying bills, like she can cook, but I grew up cooking, so I'm the main cook. You know what I'm saying? She better at paying bills. I'm gonna make the money. I mean, of course, she makes her own money. She has a job, but what it costs, there you go, pay it. You know what I'm saying? Her credit be great.
Look, that's how she is. Just sort of like, I'm like, man.
All right, you know, I ain't gonna say this. All right, you know what I'm saying? So it's just about the balance, man. That's why you got your mate. You know, they balance out whatever you lacking on. Facts. And they supposed to, help you and get you better at that. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't getting better, they gonna handle it for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got each other, need each other. So.
For sure. We're entering into the season, and we're really already there. I teach all my guys this. The era of the dominant man, he's dead. Yeah. The dominant man is gone. There's no more time for a dominant man. But the man of dominion is here. The man of dominion, he can look out and see what needs to be done. And by any means necessary, legal, of course, he gets it done. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that means empowering, not letting your woman do, empowering your wife to do her part. Whatever that part looks like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. For some people, that's breadwinner. I think we as men are scared of that. Like, we tear, like, oh my God, my wife can't make more money than me. And you know what? Mentally, if that's where you at, then okay. That's where you at. But if you happen to have a woman that make more money than you, don't be intimidated by it. You still be the man.
Appreciate it.
Still be the man.
Yeah, I think when you are intimidated by it, you haven't found value in yourself and what you have to offer to
exactly.
Something. That's why that kind of money is such an easily controllable thing. Like, but if you know that you can handle all this, and this, we go out to eat. Right. She got the card. I'm comfortable with you saying that. You know what I mean? I know what our house is. You know what our house is. Yeah. I'm not like, she paying for our 15th date in a row again. You know what I mean? I feel it. I ain't got to stand behind you at the register. I ain't got to hug you.
Just make sure you know what I'm saying? Make sure you're doing your part. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And those are conversations that y'all got to have.
Yeah.
It ain't like you just, we just got to let them do. No, like, have the conversation. Be real. If you can't be vulnerable with your woman, then you shouldn't have her.
Yes, because it was times my wife made more money than me, but I didn't, because I'm still a man. We still gonna spend my money. As long as my stuff paid, we still gonna spend my money. And put that up. I might need it. You know what I'm saying? We might need it, but I'm still gonna be the man and stand on what I stand on. Like, I feel like that's for really with weak men where don't really have nothing to offer. All they got is money,
and that's what it hurts.
Once a woman don't need that from you, it's like, damn, I can't really throw my weight around because the only thing I got, she don't need. You know what I'm saying? So
these women today are too smart, too educated, too skillful, and they're using it.
Yeah.
For you to be, I mean, it's just black women are at the rate they're more educated than black men on average, because of their ability to multitask better than men. On average, they can make themselves more valuable. Younger than a young man can, and that's not to say that young men can't do anything. If you put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want. However, we're in a society, in an age where women can make some money and doggone good money. There's so many things that you can do. So if you, and a lot of us, especially in our urban communities, we don't go get educated. So we're I don't want to say stuck, but we're driven to for manual labor jobs. Well, on average, white collar jobs make way more money than blue collar jobs.
Yeah.
So your average landscaper has a woman that makes more money than him.
Yeah. Yeah, and the life expectancy for blue collar
is a lot shorter.
My job, you aging dog years.
Come on, man.
Like, you got the money, you got that, but like when you gotta, sit at the edge of the bed for 5 minutes before you actually get up and go downstairs,
beat you down.
yeah, it's a little different.
Yes, sir.
I know. We gotta get you out of here, B man. Pat, you got one for sure up there you want to get off? It's getting kind of late. How you out? Well, I got one. I guess I'll go with that one. Then Pat, you see which one you want to go to. I seen damn, it's kind of two. Okay, so let me pick one I want the most.
All right.
Shoot. I thought I had it. I'm gonna go with the National Guard. Did y'all see that they were?
I did not.
They trying to get over here in Michigan, man, and Big Gretch, they had to get her to call in National Guard. Well, I would say they suggested it. I don't know if it actually went through, but a lot of immigrants were trying to sneak their way in here. They was suggesting her to get the National Guard involved.
From what, Canada?
Yeah, where they was coming from?
It had to be coming from Canada. The immigrants, bro.
Probably came through Canada.
Right, well, it came through Canada. Nah, listen. I'm not against immigration. I'm not against immigrants or nothing like that at all, man. I think that America has opened up a door that it could not manage.
Yeah.
Not that you want to take in, you want to offer refugee where you can, but at the risk of what? You don't have the systems in place to properly funnel immigrants in and get them through the system to where they can be contributing citizens fast enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see people that are waiting years. And I mean, like, I was talking to a guy. We went to Disney World for Christmas break. And my Lyft driver, he was from, I want to say Venezuela or Colombia or somewhere. It was somewhere in South America. And he was saying he can't go back there because he violated whatever law to come here, but he's still not a citizen here. He's been here for 20 years. So we're not showing that we have the systems in place to get people through the process fast enough, but then we're telling more people that they can come
over.
Yeah, it's dangerous because you're risking the safety of your current citizens. You're risking the mental peace of those that are coming in because they're coming in thinking that they're coming to a gravy situation, and they come into all this hostility. But it's because the systems aren't right.
Yeah, and I think when you're talking about the National Guard, being called, I think that's just more of a political thing. I'm pretty sure that somebody, Gretchen is, Democrat, so I'm sure somebody Republican might have suggested that as more of a political move.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about a country that kind of demonizes immigration or illegal immigration from the southern border, but welcome them from all these other countries,
and it's because of how they look.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times when you do that, it's America just putting America first.
Always.
And that's not including nobody here.
Yeah.
The country is separate. The longest the corporation of this country is moving the way it's supposed to move.
Yes, sir.
We don't care what pieces we have to move off the board to make sure this thing run.
Correct.
And that's the whole scary thing about empires of all kind, even back as far as you can reach. They all fall.
Yeah.
Even when you talk about Brinks and the fall of the dollar,
that come right.
You talk about China is trying to like get all these countries to, use the same currency and drop the dollar because America has been living off of popularity for so long. We owe China so much money.
Yeah.
Just imagine the country you owe so much money to is now recruiting other countries who are small in nature but have big like pockets of gold that can actually back up money more than us as a bigger country.
Yes.
You get all that. So what are we, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like we're just in this little
we had the liberty
living in the fall of America.
We at the mercy of somebody else's word, their decree, right? When you owe somebody a debt, you at their disposal. When they decide they want to collect.
Yeah. I need that. Hey,
I need that. They tapping your pockets.
I need that, bro.
People coming to tapping your pockets, boy. It's you gonna be screwed. You know what I'm saying? And that's why America living in it's so weird that Americans can be how they are. Like y'all don't even know y'all a pocket tap away from not being nothing.
Yeah, we so
for real.
arrogant and cocky because like. All our money used to be backed by gold. Now they just printing.
It's printing.
And with the credit, it's killing everything.
Yeah.
It's like, even with that, as far as the immigrants, I just feel like they coming over it, and even just us giving all that money to Zelensky or what else, Ukraine?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we giving him billions of dollars, and there's people out here homeless, struggling, starving. Flint still ain't got no water. But that damn trace burnt down over there in what's that, Britain or some stuff. And they rebuilt that, but how we still ain't got no clean water? So we got all this money to go to all these different countries and help them with everything, and we still got millions of homeless people. We don't have clean water in Flint. What's that? Mississippi also got bad water.
But see, like the thing is, we're not lacking resources. We're lacking compassion.
Yeah.
It's hungry people out there because it's people who got food that say, "No, I got my food. Go get yours."
And it's people who have. It's to the point where America just created a culture of you have so much abundance that you have to throw this away.
Yeah.
There's literally stores that say you got to throw that in the trash.
Yes.
I don't care about if somebody can eat that.
No,
you have to throw that in the trash. Yeah, and that's the craziest. I read a book last year called Babel. And it was just like like some kind of like, it was more like fiction, but it had like a lot of like truthful undertones. And they had all these prodigies from all around the world. They had an African prodigy, a little girl, a kid from China, a kid from India. Yeah. And they were they were becoming translators in UK. So they're coming and teaching the UK their native language, and in turn, the UK is going to make a currency
for them
that speaks to that language.
Wow,
and the UK was doing this, and so they started to realize they was working for a corrupt system that was just making money to go back and sell off normal processes. Like in America, we sold off all of our manufacturing for the sake of profit.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you do that, like when they did that in the book, what they realized is, as much as you tried to victimize these people, create this currency, and have them making things for you, there's power in somebody being the producer of things that you need. And I think that's what America found itself in with China. There's power. Remember, Made in China was a joke when we was a kid. That's Made in China.
Now it's the thing.
Not everything.
Yeah. Dude, they had I saw, and I tease my my wife about it because she's just said it wrong, but they have iPod vending machines over there. You can go in there and just grab Bad Boy. And it's not nearly what we pay for them over here at the time, because obviously we don't work around with iPods no more. Yeah. But like they was like for $5 over there. Over here, $150.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And plus you got to pay for the warranty. So
I'm about to get this MP3 player from Family Dollar.
Come on, bro. So it's something in not. For as much as America promotes ownership, America don't own nothing.
Nothing.
It doesn't own anything. It owns minds. It owns mindsets. That's what it owns. It doesn't own anything. It owns the American dream. That's what it owns, which is a mindset, right? Because you can be whatever you want, and you can come over here. This is the land of dreams. You can be and do whatever you want until people actually start doing it. Now it's telling us, no. We didn't want you to do that. No. I found a way to do it. That's why Donald Trump he's the American dream. He is the American dream's nightmare.
Yeah.
He's nasty, he's racist, he's sexist. But guess what? He tells his truth.
He tells the truth, man.
He tells his truth. And well, no. We don't want you to do that. No. This is the American dream. This is what y'all said I could do.
This is the embodiment
This is the embodiment of the nightmare. That is the American dream. The other side is Barack Obama. Is the nightmare of the embodiment of the American dream.
Yeah.
Because you can be whatever you want. And then when he got there, what did you hear? Oh, no, he's really not American because of his father. Yeah. He's really not American because of whatever this happened. No. Right. This is for y'all telling every little black boy, every little black girl, every little white boy, every little white girl in America, one day, if you want to be, you can be the president of the United States. Yeah. And then he got there and y'all hated him for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know how hard it is to be the president and the editor, do all this at Harvard already?
Come on.
He had to be like, he had to be in there like, he had to be in there perfect. Like,
bro, your president, America's president that they loved, and I ain't talking about everybody, but we know this man had an immigrant wife who used to be a dirty magazine model.
Yeah.
What?
What? Saying that.
like, think about that. The president of the United States of America, number one, we found out was a crooked businessman. Oh, big shocker. Number two, he has an immigrant wife. Why? Because you said that you wanted immigrants to be able to come over there and what? Thrive.
You know the first. You know the first.
But then y'all hated it.
You know the first podcast I ever recorded was the night Donald Trump won. And I was just in my basement and just hitting record. And I was like, wow, this is the first time that I felt like I could be the president of the United States.
Because how?
Barack Obama didn't make me feel like I could be president.
No.
Donald Trump, he made me feel like it was possible.
Yeah, he did it there. Hey.
And I don't know if that's a good thing because I'm not qualified.
Okay. Come on, man. This big dog from Home Alone 2.
Right.
Yeah. And they've been like joking about The Rock, man, but he probably win this shit if Trump won. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why we would never be taken serious as a country, is because we promote everything is about a look, popularity, and it's like it even found its way into our government.
Yeah, but you went from war hero to George Washington, war hero or war veteran. We'll call it that, right?
Rapist.
We'll come on, we know. Yeah. We know, but that was the standard back then, right? That was the norm. But we went from war hero, and I'm just going on the mantles, not necessarily the.
And so, Pete, so with George Washington, he was actually appointed president by the Sultan of Morocco here in the United States in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even elected president.
No, he wasn't even the first president.
Yeah.
No, he was appointed because of what he did, though. That's what I said, the war veteran, war hero, right? The mantle. At least that's what the history books say. Then you go a couple years later, now you got the abolitionists, Abraham Lincoln. A couple years later, you got a couple more war vets. Then you got a couple guys who actually know how to run a government. And then what happened? You got Mr. Popularity get in, John F. Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
Then you go into an actor. Then you go into a rich guy who's only known for his richness. Mm-hmm. Then you go into a man who cheats on his wife while in the seat, in the office. Yeah. Then you go into a man who can't even tell a good country joke well, who we know is dumb as a box of rocks, just from his interviews. Let's not even, we don't even got to talk about the intellectual of the man that you may or may not know, but the man couldn't even say a proverb correctly. You know, there's a saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice.
Shame on you again. Can't get fooled again.
Yeah, you fool me, can't fool me again. Man can't give a good interview. Then you go to, Barack Obama. Big respect, big love, but everybody know by the end of his term, everybody at least feels like he was a plant. Ignore the class, ignore the elegance, you get to Barack Obama. Then you get to Donald Trump, which is what it is. And now we have a man who literally feels like he's going to die in office.
Sleepy Joe, yeah.
You know what? I seen
giving ghost handshake,
bro.
Can't ride a bike.
I seen the dolly they rode him out on to the podium.
Come on, bro.
He turned around and gave that ghost a handshake. I'm just like, what the hell is he doing? He literally turned around
like Joe is like, come on, bro. Joe got great grandkids. Like, come on, man. Like, I understand that older men are wise, but like, I literally be feeling bad. Like, man, they be propping dog up. Yeah. But this is where we have come, and we think we're gonna compete or we're gonna battle a Putin.
Yeah.
See, good
Putin, man, he's from a bears. He fight off.
He stand on business.
Yeah, so they just had to have like a president fight off. Like, we just gonna go hand in hand. Whatever president win, it'd be like
your leader represents how strong the nation's supposed to be. The country, who you represent, the leadership is the representation of that. So how is America represented?
Yeah, and that man.
Last one. So California, they kind of came up with legislation for the Black Caucus and introduced a bill for the 2020 reparations.
All right, I believe when I get it.
Exactly.
Are they doing it? Are they doing it for the country, or are they just doing it for California? It's just for California.
Yeah.
Well, I think California is gonna get something like that done. Cause I think that's Governor Newsom in California.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of already been kind of pushing that agenda for his state. Cause he was, I think they gave each citizen like $1,000 or something. Oh yeah. They tried that. But California can do that, but as a scale of like for the country,
I ain't got the money for that. Yeah.
You know, they still agreeing to vote on just putting a committee together to talk about reparations. Like they didn't. It's like
the thing about reparations, and I wish it was a true-hearted effort. Like I feel like they're gonna stimulus check us.
Yeah.
They're gonna, number one, give everybody, if they somehow pull it off, they'll give everybody a little piece of their pie, and then before you know it, everything gonna be more expensive because that money gotta come from somewhere.
Get it right back.
They're gonna get it right back.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, that's what they did during the pandemic.
That's all they're gonna do. It's gonna be a stimulus check 2024. But this one is just gonna be just for black people.
The thing about it is, I just think reparations is kind of like, I don't think it's realistic right now because why would they give you reparations if they can get everything they need from you for free right now?
Yeah.
Like if you can't mobilize, the last thing we need to talk about is getting reparations. We can't even agree on what that looks like for us.
No. Then you giving reparations to who? The people that y'all owe the reparations to, they all about dead.
According to Tariq Nasheed, they need to go to the foundational. What he said?
Pan-African.
He said the foundational Black Americans. Like he just.
Yeah, like that really exists anymore.
Right.
Like no, for real. Like who are owed reparations? My great grandfather was born in 1925 and fought in the war. No, his parents, who were actually his grandparents. The slave, that's who need the. I'm good. Me and my wife make 6 digits. Y'all ain't finna give me. Y'all are not about to give me nothing.
You say give me a generational like number.
Yeah.
Because you can just go back. You can just make it easy. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 generations. Just make that. Get each generation.
Yeah. Like how you gonna pull that off?
They don't have it.
They
just printing money anyways.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
You know?
You gonna give me a whole bunch of paper?
Exempt your taxes for the rest of the time.
Sure, I'll take. I'll take that.
I'll need that answer money.
That's a reparation.
Exempted taxes is a good way.
Taxes fake anyways.
Yeah. Exempted taxes is a good way to end that. Like reparations. Take my tax. Just take taxes.
My taxes.
Away. But I just wanted to say this was another good episode of DRP. This is our first official guest, Pastor B.
Appreciate you.
This is a good thing. Hopefully we can have you again. This is a good episode. We kind of want to get into these positions where we can have these talks more and more often, just to kind of like, just bring a different side to what people are used to.
Absolutely.
Just kind of set a new standard as we talked about today.
Yes, sir.
You want to plug your little socials or anything before we go?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say thank y'all for having me on, man. Enjoy my time, man. Y'all got something good going. Keep progressing. You can follow me Like I said, all my social media handles are at Pastor B Drews. That's with a Z, not an S. BDREWZ. At Pastor B Drews are all my social media handles: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and again, here representing the Kingdom Living Rock Church, 19445 Eastwood Drive, Harper Woods, Michigan. Where this is church. That's what we call it. That's our mantra. That's what we say, and we say "Be holy." Right? I got on my Be Holy jersey. I walk it as much as I can. I don't just talk it. And again, it was the DRP podcast, man. Y'all check them out. Subscribe, like, share, do whatever you got to do. Get in the conversation. Hit the chat up. Give them something to talk about. Ask questions. Tell them if you like it. Tell them if you didn't like it. Be honest with them. That's the only way we grow is by honest feedback.
Honesty, yes, sir.
And show the brothers and the sisters some love, man. This is not an easy thing to do. It's definitely not an easy thing to sustain. So y'all got my support. Y'all got my love. Keep doing the thing.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to ask one more thing on the way out.
Come on.
If I go to your church one time, if I'm getting welcome, do I got to stand up?
Oh no.
Okay, thank you.
You gotta take a picture at the end of service, though.
Everything I'm saying in this motherfucker, all props.
This shit is not real.
Just in case the police listen, man.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
gets the people going.
It's only entertainment.